window that you see behind me when we purchased this boat was actually missing. This piece of glass right here was a piece of plexi. So apparently the previous owner, somehow they had broken the window and they had put a piece of plexi in its place. It never looked good, it didn't seal well, it was just kind of sitting in there. So we decided that we wanted to replace it and put a piece of glass in there. It was a huge deal, and here I'm going to show you some pictures of what I went through when replacing that glass. Essentially, this entire window frame was held in, it's kind of sandwiched around the fiberglass. So you can see the screws in here. You take those out, they hold a wooden frame on the inside of the boat, and once you get that off, you can pull this window out. Unfortunately, there's this goo. I don't really know what sort of material this goo is, but it's obviously there to protect from moisture getting in, but it was a huge mess and really, really difficult to clean up. But I eventually got the window out, got it all cleaned up, and I took this window up to just a Ashland Glass here in Chicago, and they were able to match the tint, temper it, and put it back into the window frame for me. And so now what I've done is I've put the window back in, and I used butyl tape, which is this black tape that stays soft, has adhesive to it, and is supposed to work really well at keeping moisture out. Unfortunately, the butyl tape, because it's soft, as I pressed down on the window frame to the boat, eventually, and with the heat of the sun, this butyl tape kind of squeezed out. And you can see here, like, I actually sit here sometimes. It's kind of right by our stairs, right next to our neighbor's boat. So I actually sit here and lean against this sometimes. It has squeezed out and it's gotten flattened against the fiberglass, and it just looks terrible. So this is one of my last outdoor projects of the year, is to clean all of this butyl tape up. So what I'm doing is I'm using a razor blade and a plastic putty knife to get this black butyl tape off, and then I'm going to re-caulk around this window. Most of it is in pretty good shape, but along the bottom especially, it definitely needs to be redone. Well, here I think I did a pretty good job of getting all of that off. It looks a lot better. And now I have to clean this up to get it prepped for caulk. Well, of course I didn't get all of the materials before I started doing all this, and I don't have 3M 4200, which is the sealant caulk that I want to use. That's what I used before, so I want to just match that. So unfortunately that's going to have to come in a couple of days because the local West Marine doesn't have the size that I want. The good thing is none of the areas on top or where rain could get in are open right now. It's only the area on the bottom. And even then, that still has that butyl tape, so it's all sealed pretty well. I just need to get it all cleaned up and get it prepped. So another total change of plans. Because I don't have that caulk, and it won't be here until tomorrow, I decided to wait until spring on that. The butyl tape is still there. It's going to keep any water out. The caulk is basically just there as a precautionary measure and to just make it look a little bit nicer. A lot of people make this mistake, is they think that they have a leaky window, so they just add more caulk around it. They think that's going to solve their issue, but that's actually not usually the issue. If you have a leaking window, it usually means you need to do something more than just adding a little bit of caulk. So the caulk that I'm adding isn't gonna matter much. What does matter is after I recorded that video a couple of days ago, it dropped the temperature. And so you can see I'm actually wearing a jacket now where I was wearing a t-shirt before. And we have a little bit of a draft that comes in this window. It's right where our couch is, so we want to make sure that it's nice and cozy. So I found some old plastic that I still had left over from when we owned our house. This is just the stuff that you buy at the local hardware or home center, and you kind of use a little double stick tape on the inside of your old windows and you use a hairdryer to shrink wrap it. So I had some of that left over, and I just put it on the outside of the window just to keep that little bit of a draft off. We will eventually do this whole side right here. This will get some more plastic over it, and I'll show you that when we do the wrap video, when we actually show you how the entire boat gets wrapped. But for now, this is going to keep a draft off of us, or help to keep a draft off of us when we're sitting at the couch. And again, it's not an issue with water or anything like that, so I'm pretty happy with the way it turned out. And of course, you could see here that it looks pretty good in terms of cleaning all of that old butyl tape off, and I'm pretty happy with the way it looks. So thanks for watching. If you want to see more videos like this, more of these kind of how-to videos and how we actually get through the winter, please like and subscribe. Thanks very much.